Hello students, welcome to all of you to this class. Today in this class we are going to read a new chapter named The Hour of Truth, and this is being written by Percival Wilde. But before it, let me tell you one thing. What do you mean by hour of truth? It means something which is related to truth, and it is referring to a particular time when the truth is being revealed in front of some people or in front of a few people or in a large number of people. Understood? So, this chapter is being written by Percival Wilde, and Percival Wilde is an American writer of short stories, mystery novel, plays. The Hour of Truth is a powerful one-act play on the corrupting influence of money on people. So, here in this chapter, corruption is clearly focused, and how corruption is reflecting on people and what is the impact of corruption on human life is clearly mentioned in this one-act play. This is a one-act play, okay? And here how human beings can change their attitude from negative to positive, positive to negative, all these things are being mentioned in this one-act play, okay? So, here what do you mean by honesty? Honesty means what? To remain erect and to stand by your own opinion, to stand, to go in the way of truthfulness is known as the honesty, okay? Some people say that honesty is nothing but the lack of opportunity, and our honesty is having its own limitation, but to how some extent it is correct, I also can't describe, because honesty has its own reward in the long run. Honesty is always rewarded, okay? If you are cheating people, if you are following the wrong path of life, then definitely you are going to suffer a lot in your life. But if you are honest, then definitely in some day or in some time you will be honored for your honesty. So, in this chapter, honesty is having its own characteristic. So, let us see, as it is in one-act play, few characters are there, and the characters, the main character is Robert Baldwin, his wife Martha, his son John Baldwin, his daughter Evie, and Mr. Marshall is another character. And apart from this, 3-4 other characters are also there. They will come with the flow of the scene, okay, with the flow of the act they will come. So, let us read what is mentioned. As it is in one-act play, that is why initially the scene is being mentioned, okay, as you are writing in script writing. It is a rather hot and sultry Sunday afternoon. Sultry means what? Damp, wet, means the afternoon is not quite comfortable afternoon, and the sun overhead and the baked clay means what? Hot clay underfoot are merciless, means cruel, even you can't on the ground, it is too hot, okay. In the distance, lowering clouds give promise of coming relief, and at the parlor of window of a trim little cottage, the Baldwin family is anxiously waiting the return of its head. So, here what is the scene? The scene is focusing on the environment. It is a sultry day, the day is not good, but in the far away clouds are visible in the sky and they are promising us relief, means it might rain, but in the neat cottage, in the small house of Baldwin, all are waiting for the arrival of the head of the family. Means who is the head of the family? Mr. Robert Baldwin is the head of the family. All are waiting for Robert Baldwin. John, the son, an average young man of 27. And what is the age of John? John is 27 years old. 27 years old. Okay, each John. Average young man of 27 is smoking a pipe. He is smoking a pipe. It is not mentioned cigar. Okay, pipe smoking is different. As philosophically as if this day were no whit more momentous than any other, as if the day is not at all important for him. It's just a casual day, and he was sitting and he was smoking a pipe. But his mother has made little progress in the last half hour. But his mother has done little bit progress in last 30 minutes, and Evie, his sister, takes no pain to conceal her nervousness, and Evie is looking too nervous. She does not take any pain to hide her nervousness. She is looking nervous and she is like that only. There is a tense pause. There is a great silence. It seems as if none of them likes to break the silence, and it was visible as if no one was having the desire to break the silence. All are having the wish to be silent. They don't want to speak anything. For the 10th time in 10 minutes, Evie goes to the window and looks out along the sultry road, and this is for the 10th time that Evie had been near the window and she was looking outside, either her father did appear or not. Martha, then the wife is speaking, means the mother of the two kids, not kids, old kids. Okay, Martha, it's time he was home. Evie, yes mother. Then the mom is speaking, it's the time that he remain at home, and Evie is speaking, yes mama, you are correct. Martha, I do hope he has not forgotten his umbrella. He had such a habit of leaving it behind. And then Martha is speaking that I hope he has not forgotten his umbrella, because normally he is having the habit to forget everything, but right now he has not forgotten something like that. Evie, yes mother. Martha, it might rain. Don't you think so, Evie? Without waiting for an answer, she goes to the window and looks out anxiously. Then Martha is speaking to her daughter that Evie, today it might rain, don't you think so? And Evie is not waiting for any answer. She is going near the window and looking outside anxiously, means eagerly she is looking either it is raining or not, or either her father has returned or not. There was a flash of lightning and there was lightning in the sky. John rises slowly, moves to a center table and knocks the ashes out of his pipe, and John just moved to a center table and knocks the ashes, means he just separate the smoke from the pipe. And his mother turns to him, John, run into your father's room and see that the windows are closed. There's a good boy. Then the mom is speaking, John, just go to your father's room and check either the windows are closed or not, and you are a good boy. Who is speaking? Martha is speaking to her son. John, right. Evie, after a pause, mother. Mrs. Baldwin turns slowly. What does Mr. Gresham want with him? Has he done anything wrong? Then another character come into light, and the person is Mr. Gresham. Okay, Mr. Gresham is another character. Then Evie is speaking, mother, why did Mr. Gresham call my father? Has he done anything wrong? Then why did he call him? And has he done anything wrong? Martha, proudly, your father? No, Evie. Then Martha is speaking, feeling very proud because she knows her husband very well, and she is speaking, Evie, no, your father can't do anything wrong. Evie, then why did Mr. Gresham send for him? Send for means to call someone, by sending someone or by sending a person. Okay. So then Evie is speaking that if father has done nothing, then why did Mr. Gresham call him? Martha, he wanted to talk to him. Then Martha is speaking, Mr. Gresham, he wanted to talk to your father. This is the reason that why did he call him. Evie, what about? Mr. Gresham has been arrested. They are going to try him tomorrow. What can he want with father? Then Evie is speaking, why? Why does the person want to talk to my father? He is arrested and the police is going to ask him tomorrow. He is going on a trial tomorrow. And what is his work with father? What is the business? Martha, your father will have to give evidence. Then Martha is speaking, your father has to give the evidence. Means your father is the proof against the crime which is being committed by Mr. Gresham. Okay. But he is going to give evidence against Mr. Gresham. Why should Mr. Gresham want to see him? Then Evie is speaking, Mama, it's right. Father is having the evidence, he will speak, but the thing is that my father is going to speak against Mr. Gresham. Then why is he calling my father? What is the work? Martha, I don't know, Evie. You know, your father doesn't say much about his business affairs. She pauses. She stops. I didn't know there was anything wrong with the bank until I saw it in the papers. Then the mom is speaking that, Evie, actually I don't know, because your father does never ever share anything with me. Even he doesn't disclose any secret related to his business matter, and I get to know about the news when I did notice it in the newspaper. Otherwise, it was also not possible on my part to know all these things. Your father would not tell me to draw my money out. He thought it was not loyal to Mr. Gresham. But when I get to know about it from the paper, Even your father didn't allow me to draw the money because he thinks that it is impolite. It is quite faithlessness and it is not loyal to Mr. Gresham. Abby notes, then Abby is just moving her head as I am moving right now. I did it of my own accord against his wishes than I suspected. When I suspected, but the mom is speaking that, but I did withdraw my money when I was having suspicion and your father was not having the desire to withdraw the money, but I did it on my own accord. Abby, after a pause, do you think that father had anything to do with then Abby is speaking that, mom, do you think that father is having anything or he is having any clue, etc., etc.? Martha, with the breaking of the bank, you know him better than that, Abby, but did he know what was going on? You know what the papers are saying? Martha, they have not been fair to him, Abby. Then Abby is asking that, mom, is my father involved in the cracking of the bank? Then the mom is speaking, don't you know your father? Then Abby is speaking that, but something else has been published in the newspaper. Then Martha is speaking, they are not fair to your father. If perhaps not, but they said he must have been a fool not to know. They said that only he could have known, he and Mr. Gresham, why didn't he stop it? But Abby is speaking that the papers are speaking, means it is being published in the newspaper that if a single, means that something has happened in the bank related to corruption and the public money is being eaten up by the founder, etc., etc., and Mr. Baldwin is the sole witness against it, means Mr. Baldwin is the sole witness against Mr. Gresham. That is why the papers are also speaking the same thing, but the mom is speaking that, don't you know your father? Martha, he was acting under Mr. Gresham's order. Then the mom is speaking that, how could he know? He was giving, means Mr. Gresham was giving him order and he was working accordingly. And Abby, contemptuously, hatefully, Mr. Gresham's order, did he have to follow them? Martha, after pause, Abby, I don't believe your father ever did a wrong thing in his life, not if he knew it was wrong. He found out by accident, found out what Mr. Gresham was doing. Then Martha is speaking that, Abby, I know your father and your father can't do a thing wrong unless and until he knew it. But finally, Mr. Gresham didn't speak to him regarding what he is doing, but your father did find out what Mr. Gresham was doing. Abby, how do you know that? Martha, I don't know, I suspect it. Something is said eagerly. You see, Abby, he can't have done anything wrong. They have not indicted him. Indicted means accused. Okay. Then Martha is speaking, I don't know, but I think. But they can't accuse your father because your father is not having any idea on these things. Abby, no, they didn't indict him because they want him to testify against Mr. Gresham. That's little consolation, mother. Then Abby is speaking, no, they will not indict him, means they will not accuse him, but they are using my father as the witness against Mr. Gresham. That is the thing. Then John re-enters, the son. Martha, seizing the relief, where the windows open, John? John, I have closed them. He crosses the table, takes up his pipe and refills it. Look here, mother, what does Gresham want with father? Then John is also speaking the same thing. When the mom is speaking, did you close the window? John is speaking, yes mom, I did it. But tell me one thing, what was Mr. Gresham's work with my father? Abby, I have just been asking that. Then Abby is speaking, yes, I am also asking the same thing. Martha, I don't know, John. John, didn't you ask him? Well, Martha, as I asked him, he didn't say, John. I don't think he knew himself. Then John is asking that, Mama, didn't you ask Dad regarding all these things? What has happened actually? Then the mom is speaking, I asked him, but he didn't speak anything, and it might be possible that he is not having any idea on what is going on. John, after an instant thought, I was talking to the assistant cashier yesterday, Donovan. Another character came, Donovan. Donovan is the assistant cashier. Okay. So, John is speaking that I was talking to Donovan yesterday, and John, yes, Donovan. Abby is asking, Donovan. Then John is speaking, yes. I saw him up at the athletic club. He said that nobody had any idea that there was anything wrong until the crash came. Donovan had been there 8 years. He thought he was taken care of for the rest of his life. He had gotten married on the strength of it, and then one morning there was a sign up on the door. It was like a bolt out of a clear sky. Okay, bolt out of a clear sky. Bolt, it is mentioned. It means unexpected danger. Okay. Then Donovan is speaking to John that he has been there since last 8 years. By the strength of his job, he got married because he was thinking that he has settled his life, settled his career, but suddenly one day there was a notice and there was danger out of nothing. And then one morning there was a sign up on the door. It was like a bolt out of a clear sky. Just it was a means bolt out of a clear sky. It also means referring that sky is clear, there is sudden lightness. Okay. So here, but here in this context it means it just like an idiom, it means danger out of nothing. There was no sign, no means any hint, no hint came, but suddenly there was the danger. Okay. And Donovan was surprised. A.B. and father, John, he says father must have known. He will swear nobody else did. You see, father was closer to Gresham than anyone else. That puts him in a nice position, doesn't it? Then A.B. is speaking, then father. Then John is speaking, that father must have known it because he was quite closer to Mr. Gresham and no one else except father could know all these things. Martha, what do you mean, John? John, father, the only witness against John Gresham and me, named after him, John Gresham Baldwin, at your service. And then Martha is speaking that, John, what do you mean? Then John is speaking that father is the only witness against Mr. Gresham and he has named me as John Gresham Baldwin. Means, look, Baldwin, Robert Baldwin, his son's name is John, Baldwin is the surname. Okay, but here John's name is John Gresham Baldwin. Okay, it means his father was having too much hope, too much faith on Mr. Gresham. That's why he just named his son after his name, John Gresham Baldwin. Understood? John's full name, John Gresham Baldwin. And that's why John is getting angry. And Martha, your father will do his duty, John, no matter what comes of it. Then Martha is speaking, John, don't speak like this. Your father will do his duty only, whatever the situation will be, but he will do his duty only. John, I know it and I am not sure, but what it's right. They look at him inquiringly. This John Gresham, grown rich in 20 years, and the governor pegging along as a secretary at 5,000 a year. But John is getting angry. Why? He is speaking that in the 20 years, John Gresham has grown rich, but my father is just an employee in the bank with 5,000 a year. It might be $5,000. Martha, your father never complained. And Martha is speaking that, but your father did never complain. John, no, that's just the pity of it. He didn't complain. This is the problem, that he didn't complain. Who is speaking? John is speaking. Well, he will have his chance tomorrow. He will go in the box, and when he is through, they will put John Gresham where he won't be able to hurt anybody for a while. Wasn't satisfied with underpaying his employees, had to rob his depositors, serves him jolly well right. Then John is speaking, father has spoken nothing, that's why tomorrow he will speak against Mr. Gresham. And Mr. Gresham will get the good punishment because he was underpaying the employees, he was giving him less payment, and he was robbing the depositors. He is eating up the money of public, that's why he should be given the punishment. Who is speaking? John is speaking all these things out of anger. Martha, I don't think your father would like you to talk that way, John. Then Martha is speaking, John, your father will never like the way you are talking right now. Martha. John shrugs his shoulders, speaks contemptuously. Normally sometimes we are speaking, means we are raising up our soldier. Likewise John is speaking, okay. Martha. Your father has nothing against Mr. Gresham. He will tell the truth, nothing but the truth. Then Martha is speaking that your father is not having any grudge against Mr. Gresham. He will speak the truth only. John. Did you think I expected him to lie? Not, father, he will tell the truth, just the truth, it will be plenty. Then John is speaking that, did you think that I also wish that my father should speak a lie? No, my father will speak the truth, only truth, that's all. A.V. at the window, this father now. Now A.V. is speaking, here father came. There is the click of a latchkey outside. A.V. makes for the door. Martha, A.V., you stay here, let me talk to him first. Martha hurries out. John and A.V. looked at each other. Then A.V. was going to open the door and was going to talk to her father. But Martha stopped her and said that, A.V., you just be here, let me talk to him first. John wondered that Gresham had to say to him, and John is speaking that what Mr. Gresham must have been told to him. The brother and the sister, they are looking at each other curiously to know what is the theme of their conversation. A.V. shrugs her shoulders. He turns away to the window. It started to rain and A.V. speaking. Like this A.V. speaking and she is turning to the window and it started raining. A.V. is. There is a pause. Suddenly John crosses to the door and flings it open. And suddenly John went near the door and kept it wide open. Okay, understood? So here in this chapter, a number of characters came into light, but the mere conversation is in between three characters, that is Martha, Robert Baldwin's wife, John, Robert Baldwin's son, and A.V., Robert Baldwin's daughter. These three characters are talking and Mr. Gresham is a person and he has called Robert Baldwin to meet him. And where is Mr. Gresham? He is in the trials, he is in the jail right now. Okay. So, he is taken into custody. There in the custody, Robert Baldwin had been to meet him, and now these three people, the mother, the son and the daughter, they are talking that what is the cause, why did Mr. Gresham wanted to talk to Mr. Baldwin. Then John is, and all are speaking that Mr. Baldwin, their father is the only witness against Mr. Gresham, and some corruption has taken place in the bank, and according to people, Mr. Baldwin must be having some idea on it. Now, why did he call Mr. Baldwin to meet? It is written in the next unit. Okay. For today, this much. Thank you. Have a nice time.